Sounds of silence.
All right. It is February 12th on a snowy Tuesday morning. We'll call the Wright County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I think this relatively briefer agenda in comparison to other weeks. I'll begin by looking for a motion for approval of the minutes if there's no modifications.
I will make that motion, Mr. Chair.
I'll second that.
All right, motion by Commissioner Hewsome, second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, minutes are approved. Now we'll look for the approval of today's agenda. Before we do so, I'd like to add 2 items under items for consideration. One, to set a committee of the whole for a public meeting regarding building facilities. And a second one is to set a committee of the whole regarding building projects and HHS staff.
Do you want to have them the same time or different?
There'll be
times?
different meetings.
Okay.
Okay. With that, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda for today.
I'll make that motion. Where do you want to put them, Mr. Chair?
Items for consideration, B and
Yep,
C.
B and C.
Okay, sounds good. I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Actually, we
that.
have one, Sean, you wanted to be an item for a quick discussion on an item. You're not actually on the agenda. Or it'd be part of the minutes for
It would
the,
be part of the minutes.
oh, the committee of the whole minutes. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. So we have a motion. Did I have a motion there?
Yeah.
Motion is
Motion by Commissioner Burrell, a second by Commissioner Hewsome. Any further discussion? All right, no further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Today's agenda is approved. Today's consent agenda. Would anybody like to remove something from the consent agenda for further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
All right, a motion by Commissioner Potter, a second by Commissioner Hewsome. Any other further discussion regarding the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda is approved. We'll go to our first timed item. Mr. Virgil Hawkins, approval of a resolution of final acceptance for the Median Avenue of South Bridge Replacement Project.
Good morning, Chair and Board of Commissioners. Yeah, there's 3 items I have today for your consideration. And the first one is the final acceptance resolution for the Franklin Township Bridge Project and authorized final payment.
Any
Mr.
discussion?
Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the acceptance of the Meridian Avenue South Bridge Replacement Project.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Potter, a second by Commissioner Burrell. Any discussion? This is a resolution. Commissioner Potter?
Aye.
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 Aye. All right, second item?
Okay, thank you. Second item is to approve a detour agreement with MnDOT. And this one is for using County State Aid Highway 12 for a project they have, an overlay and a box culvert project they have on Trunk Highway 25. They plan to use our Highway 12 as a detour route from August 5th to October 13th. And this is a standard MnDOT agreement with a resolution, and they reimburse us based on the gas tax method. So we will get some reimbursement for them using our highway.
This is for,
Oh,
Chair.
yep.
Okay, that's the second one, 2012. Okay.
Yep, that's, all right, is there?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the MnDOT detour agreement number 1033129.
Second.
All right, we have a motion, and we have a second by, motion by Commissioner Potter, a second by Commissioner Burrell. Any further discussion?
I just have a question. Virgil, so when we do these projects, the cities are all aware. How, do we have any meetings on this, or just inform
We don't.
cities?
The
or
state pretty much
state does
dictates,
that?
and
Okay.
they need to communicate with the city, and they
Okay.
kind of let us know this is their plans, and unless there's some reason they can't use our state aid highway, if there's a restricted bridge or something like that, we let them know, and then they might take a different route, but then
Okay.
they need to be in communication with the cities that it affects.
I was just curious if our townships and things if we can notify them about this upcoming project so they're aware that probably see more traffic on these, or how we operate with that. I didn't remember we did in the past.
Yeah, we certainly could, and I think MnDOT has on their they have websites about their projects, and quite frankly, we're just finding out about these for the first time
Right,
recently.
yeah.
So, but we
Okay.
could send something out to the townships and cities
Yep.
just so they're aware of it if they're not already.
Yeah, I think that'd be great because, like
Mr.
you said, this just, we're hearing about this for the first time and it's good to let them know.
Sure.
Commissioner Potter?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Virgil, I believe MnDOT has like a 311 program you can sign up for, and I think the cities already sign up for those things. Kind of update you on what projects are coming up. They have a mechanism already for this. And I could be wrong on 311, but I'm pretty sure it's MnDOT 311 for the information on construction project coming up in your area. And it's an app. People like apps on their phone. I mean, and most of the cities, I think, are dialed in on this. And I know the 55 project, there isn't anybody that travels down the road is not waiting for that thing to get done. It's time.
Yeah.
A full depth overlay is kind of nice to get.
Yeah,
Get
these
those
are
ones.
needed maintenance projects that the state's doing, but as a courtesy, we could certainly send the affected townships and cities.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to get,
The link.
let them
Yeah,
ahead of it, even if it's the second time they've heard it.
right. Yep, we'll do that.
Thank you, appreciate that.
So any other further discussion? This is a resolution. Commissioner
No, it's
Potter?
not- it's not a
Isn't it? It is, because I have a resolution form for the 133129.
Yeah, they're both.
They're both a
Okay, they're all
resolution.
resolution, okay.
Yep.
Aye.
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 Aye. I think the next one's not, though. All right, approval of a MnDOT detour agreement 133132.
Yes, this also is similar to the last one. There's a resolution, and this is for a MnDOT project on Highway 55 from Annandale to Buffalo. Full depth reclamation, and they're planning to use our Highway 8, Highway 5, and Highway 37 as a detour route. So it's an agreement and a resolution, and they're planning to do this project from April 29th to July 27th.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept this resolution, number 1033132, with the State of Minnesota Department of Transportation.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hewsome, a second by Commissioner Potter. Any further discussion? Once again, this is a resolution. Commissioner Burrell?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Virgil?
Now we'll move on to the, we didn't even assign anybody to do the committee of the whole minutes regarding the items for consideration for the February 8th meeting. Somebody would be willing to, otherwise,
Mr. Chair, I'll do it for you.
okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Personnel Committee of the Whole met February 8th. The commissioners were present, plus Lee Kelly, Administrator, and Sean Johnson from HR. Others present, Sean Riley and Lori Pollock. The item for the discussion was the building official, hire a building official above the 12% minimum range, which this has been an ongoing situation with us we seem to be doing the 12% above on pretty much everything we're doing now is hiring people. And Planning and Zoning Administrator Sean Riley explained the committee the building official position. This is an area which I do have a little bit of knowledge and experience on. You get what you pay for. I tell you, the work experience is extremely important for this position, especially when we have so many building projects, commercial and otherwise, going on here. You need somebody with that knowledge to get that done. You can't hire just anybody off the street for this. Some people think you can, you can't. The discussion regarding the requirements of the building official, the master license versus just basically a layman, certified building official. And we don't have one now, one retired, so we got a little bit of a gap. We need to fill this, so we can't wait forever for getting all this done. And it came down to we need somebody with that skill set. And unfortunately, the market has passed us by what we used to do. We need to update our facility. We're working on that right now. Commissioner Vetch asked what the starting wage for that position, and HR Rep Johnson told us that it's between $26.45 to $37.04 an hour. And the candidate for this would like a $35 an hour, so we agreed to candidate $35 an hour, which is 12% above the minimum range salary. The recommendation was to approve the hire of the building official above the 12% of minimum salary range at $35 an hour. And with that, Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and the recommendation.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Potter, a second by Commissioner Hewsome. With that, I would like to add basically, there's some finer details in this negotiation that need some further discussion. I would ask that fellow commissioners would delegate that authority for the administration to kind of work out some of the finer details on this contract to basically finalize this employment.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Does Sean have something to say?
Yeah, this is basically, Sean talked to me this morning, there's some, they're really close on it, there's some finer details on it that basically, they just want to be able to give the administration the authority to basically finalize the details, to be able to finalize the employment on it, so.
Is it like something like take the county commissioner to lunch for the next?
Something like
Just
that.
District 5. Just District 5. Mr. Chair?
We don't know exactly what it is yet, but they're really close, and they just want to be able to have,
Mr. Chair, I have no problem. I trust Sean
Mr.
making
Chair.
a sound
I
judgment.
agree.
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that during the discussion, although it doesn't reflect in the minutes, the discussion was to allow the flexibility for any little nuance that comes forward to get this taken care of, because we don't want to be off by 50 cents and have to come back to a board meeting for that, or whatever that case may be. We wanted to have the administration have enough flexibility and HR to get this position done, and the parameters were a little bit loose, but administration used their best judgment on making sure this gets done, and that was my feeling coming out of that we are already given that latitude, but it does not reflect in the minutes, and that was a good catch for you, Commissioner Vetch, on that one, and I have no problem with that being included in the
you're
minutes.
okay with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I
Why don't we
think,
just
I think it's
consider it?
important, it's important to get someone with experience, someone with the skill sets that we need for this position, because it is a vital position. We don't want to start contracting with the state to get
And
these.
Sue, you're okay with us just delegating that authority, and you guys are clear on basically finishing out
Yes,
the
we
final
will work
details on
with
it?
Sean and we
Yep.
will proceed
All right,
forward.
with that, any other further discussions? None, I will look for all in favor to say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Committee of the Whole minutes from February 8th are approved, and the recommendations. With that, we will open up your calendars. We are going to set a couple of Committee of the Wholes. First one being for the public meeting regarding building facilities.
And are you talking specifically administration?
Well, it's just over a variety of the projects that are taking place right now.
kind of everything? Okay.
Giving some opportunity
This
for
is
some
for-
people that
yeah.
want to have
Mr.
some.
Chair,
For the
you
public.
might want to explain to Commissioner Burrell how this started, just so he's in.
I have some groups of people that have reached out and wanting to talk to the board as a whole
Okay.
regarding the projects. I want to be able to have some back and forth question answering.
So we might want to make this an evening meeting, is that what you're thinking, or?
The individuals said they're open, they'll make it work, whatever. They'll be obviously depending, obviously an evening would get more than we would get during the day, but they're open either way, so.
Mr. Chair, if it's possible to arrange, are you thinking the week of the 19th or the week?
Yes,
of
I was
the
thinking after the 19th, just because with some of the stuff that's going on before that, so I'm thinking, depends here, does the board as a whole want to do it in the evening, or do we want to keep it more towards the end of a day or in the morning?
I think it's good to throw an evening meeting in now and then. I mean, because we do have people that can't always make it during the day, so.
Sure.
Mr. Chair, I know we have the Transportation Committee of the Whole open house on the 21st. I have EMS on the 20th and another meeting on the 19th, so I don't know if anybody wants to have a Friday evening meeting.
Or
Otherwise,
is it Wednesday evening, or what's the 20th look like?
I have EMS.
Oh, you have EMS, okay, so,
But, I mean, if you,
do you want to do the,
we could do like the 26th.
what time's EMS at? Would you want to do like even like a 4 o'clock, or the end of the day, like a 3:30? and make
Sure,
it
I could
close
do
then?
I could do it late afternoon, but EMS is at 7, so.
Which day is this?
The 20th?
20th?
Unless we move to
Owners
the,
Committee in the afternoon, so we'd be available later than that.
So like 3 o'clock would be ready, 3 or 4.
Times EMS, so you have to be in
1
sync.
o'clock usually.
1 o'clock, and it usually lasts for an hour,
Even, yeah, if
at
you,
the late, at the most, but hour usually we're done.
you could do a 4 o'clock. I mean, that perhaps could get people, if they
Yeah.
have a job they need to leave a couple hours early.
Does that give you at least an hour to be here for us, for the
Oh,
meeting?
yeah, 2
Okay,
hours. I mean,
okay.
I could be here
We
for,
could,
yeah, I could
4
be here
o'clock would be
for.
fine.
I just would like to confirm which staff you would like here. I'm looking at their calendars. I'm going to assume Administrator Kelly and Alan, our facilities.
Those would be, those would be the two people
Okay,
that I would,
If you set
yep.
it like at 4 o'clock or later, that works well for their schedules at
Okay.
this point.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be great.
So we're gonna go 4 o'clock on February 20th, Committee of the Whole. All right. Building. All right. And now the next one in HHS, building projects and HHS staff. This one will be out at the sorry, I want to clarify, this is going to be in the boardroom for the February 20th. I want to make sure we clarify
Hey,
that.
Mr. Chair, just to dot the i's and cross the t's, I'll make a motion to approve a committee of the whole, discuss future buildings at 4 PM on February 20th, and the meeting will take place in the boardroom.
Perfect. So we have a motion by Commissioner Potter,
Second.
second by Commissioner Hewsome. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, so 4 o'clock, February 20th, boardroom. So now the next one is a committee of the whole regarding building projects and HHS staff, which I'd recommend that we take place out at the HHS building. Hopefully we can get, what is that, room 127, isn't it, or 120?
120 or.
120?
7, I think.
All right.
Maybe it is 127.
I don't, it's
Back in
something
the
like that.
The northeast
They're
corner.
large.
Yeah, the northeast corner.
All right, and I guess,
Any suggestions?
once again, I'd like to do it after the 19th.
Could it be on the 26th?
Yes, we could do the Tuesday, the 26th, or Monday, the 25th.
Monday, the 25th, we
25th
will
is
have
already-
the HHS meeting in the afternoon. We have BKV in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we have, I gotta
So
add
we're
my-
loaded up pretty good there.
Yeah, you're right. So, unless you wanted to go with like a Friday, the 22nd, or do you want to push it out another?
I have a shack meeting in St. Paul on
Okay,
Friday.
so then let's go to
What about,
Tuesday.
what about Wednesday, the 27th? What's,
I will be
Oh, you'll be-
out.
okay.
I will be out for
Oh.
at
So let's
least.
go to the 26th, February 26th. You want to go, should we, I hate to tie us to a time on a meeting. I hate to say, or like tie it too tight, 10, to go over there. Do
It's hard to know how much,
you want to do an afternoon? Do you want to do it
Yeah.
1 o'clock right after lunch?
1:30.
1:30.
Just because.
well,
Well, 1 o'clock we should be okay.
yeah, 1 o'clock we should be.
Let's go 1 o'clock, February 26th.
not leaving much room for lunch then, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, our board,
We
if we're
don't-
not done with our
we
board
won't
meeting
have-
by
we won't have a
11:30, that
three-
gives you an
No,
hour and a
but we
half.
have the
We have a public hearing on ditch
the
14.
ditch 14.
Oh, I forgot
And
about
I
the ditch
know we're
14.
going to have one
Abandon
person that's
that
opposed to it.
That's right, I forgot about the public
At
hearing
what
at ditch
That's why
14.
1:30 I was going.
Yeah.
to
Have
start
10:30 after the
knocking
board.
out.
Yeah, I forgot, so that could take us till, I don't know, I
Yeah.
mean.
Let's
so,
say 1:30.
Yeah,
1:30,
we're safer.
yep. All right, perfect, so February 26th at 1:30, HHS building, room 1 something, whatever. If I remember exactly.
I think you're right about 127.
I think it's 127, but, all right, I'll look for a motion for that.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Potter, a second by Commissioner Burrell. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Committee of the whole is scheduled, okay. Now we'll go down to advisory committee updates.
Wood abandonment.
Mr. Potter?
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr.
10:30,
Chair.
right
The only
after
thing I
the
have to report is last week, we had Transportation Day at the Capitol. I'm as you know, I'm Vice President of Transportation Alliance, and we had quite a few legislators there, and speakers. Margaret Anderson Kelleher showed up, along with the Nora from the Met Council Chair showed up. A few things that gave us talks about different items going on. Wright County's been real fortunate to get the Corridors of Commerce funding the last 3 out of the 4 solicitations, and we didn't apply for the one. It sounds like she didn't say it directly, but when you read between the lines, corridors of commerce is over, according to Margaret Anderson Kelleher. That being the way it is, let's not shed too many tears, because Wright County's come out very well in that program. And a bill was introduced late last week by Representative Lucero and Senator Kiffmeyer to fill in the gap of 94 between Albertville and Monticello that is, right now doesn't have any funding, and the earliest they could program it in is 2025, and they're hoping to get that through a supplemental bonding bill, get that done quicker than that. The other part of it is that I finally learned who the DOT Chief of Staff is. Sarah Seaver, I don't know much about her, but I'm going to find out something about her. What I did last time with Commissioner Zelli and his Chief of Staff, Eric Davis, with the Commissioner being so globbed on by everybody, I went after the Chief of Staff and spent more time with them. And I'm going to try to see if that can work again. Like I say, and I'm going to find out who she is, what's going on, and make sure I spend some time with her, because she will have the ear of Margaret. Margaret's really well aware of everything out here that's going on. I-94 Coalition did have a meeting last Monday with her to explain some of the issues here, so she wanted to be filled in with what's going on. So it's kind of a nice thing that we're still at the table and going on with this, trying to get that last gap fixed there. And my pitch to the rest of the state was, once 94 is done, then everybody else moves up a notch. So let's hurry up and get this done, and then pretty soon everybody else is up. So hopefully more to come on that. And tonight we have a transportation subcommittee from AMC to part of a group that's trying to make sure we keep the legislators up to date on what's going on, because they have a tendency to fund transportation 1 year, and then kind of like we check the box so we don't have to think about it again, try to keep it at the forefront and make sure that they're not forgetting us, that that's not a one-time and done. We need to sustain funding, because they know what the problem is. You just got to come up with solutions, and everything's been on the table. And like, I know some people don't like the gas tax or this and that. My thought is if Walls wants a gas tax, then what are you going to do on tax conformity that actually puts more money in our pockets in exchange for that, if that's possible? Some, like, basically what they call horse trading. Anyway, but that's what I've got, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Potter. Commissioner Burrell?
For updates, the Central Minnesota Council on Aging met last Thursday. I did want to say there's some good news. We have Wright County Community Action has kind of taken on a little bit of the providers doing some services through Central Minnesota Council on Aging. For a while we were without any providers, so they're picking up some transportation rides, also doing some homemaker and different stuff like that, and they're expanding right now. So right now, Wright County, I have a sheet, I'll leave it in the back here for you guys to look at, but we have about 13% of our area's over 60 population, and we get about 12% of the funding. So we're still a little behind the curve, but it's coming up a little bit that way. So if there are any other providers out there that would want to look at something like this, give me a call or somebody at Central Minnesota Council on Aging. Then the other thing I said, for people that are looking for services, the senior linkage line, it's 800-333-2433, and they're 24/7, I do believe, so to look for some of those services. So hopefully we can get Wright County to have their share of the pot, I guess. So, Mr. Chair, that's about it.
All right, Commissioner Newsom?
Last Wednesday, Greg Picard, our Veteran Services Director, was our guest speaker at Rotary, so he made some good contacts with people at Rotary, and I think that was great. And I also went to Safe Schools, Buffalo Safe Schools, and we had representatives from Rivers of Hope, the Violence Intervention and Prevention Youth Program, and they also have a program for adults. But some of the interesting things that they're working with kids, they'll ask kids, what is a healthy relationship, and they don't have an answer. So a lot is to work against dating violence, and some of the things that come up in social media are negative. So they have resources for both adults and youth. They also have a text, they can set up text messages for the kids, so if they need to have some help or assistance or answer questions and things, they've got that program going. It's just basically they want to walk alongside victims and enable them to keep out of bad situations and to have healthy relationships. So they also talked about in this world of today how many people are lonely, and I've talked about this before, but 40% of people are lonely, and the health impact of that is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes per day. So anyway, we also talked about courage to connect, so when you meet someone in the hallway or whatever, just smile and say hello to them, and that really has a good impact on people. So, and the one cool thing the St. Francis School is doing, they're doing cancer care packages, and they've got like 400 put together. They also, this Wednesday, high school kids will do there'll be greeters and readers at the elementary school. So they'll greet kids as they're getting off the buses, and if we have school, and read to them also. So, and this February is I Love to Read month, so if you want to sign up and go and read to one of the elementary schools that we have in Wright County, it's a good time to do it. I have enjoyed doing that myself. And so we had a meeting on Friday with our AIS group, and we'll probably be getting into more of what we talked about later at the meeting this afternoon. So
Those AIS meetings have been really good meetings. I'm glad we started that. I think in hindsight, 2020, I wish we would have had those AIS groups 12 months earlier.
Yep.
I think we could have probably got ourselves on a better trajectory had we had those conversations.
yeah, I think they've been very productive, and having everyone, all the interested parties at the table is important. So.
Myself, I was supposed to have my East Regional Juvenile Detention Center meeting, but it was canceled due to the weather. But we were given out some information that we'll get to chew on a little bit, because for good or bad, bed usage is down, so which is good. That means we aren't having juveniles in detention centers, but that means the bad side is that member entities will have a bill to pay because of the unutilization of those beds. System-wide, it's $60,000, so you dilute down to each entity. I mean, it's pretty small amount of money.
I'd rather see it that way anyway.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we pay whether we use it or not,
Use
but,
it, yeah,
but at the same time, you'd rather not have to use it, but,
Like I said, for good or bad, I'd say it's probably more good than bad.
right.
On that side of it. Our AIS meeting on Monday, I sent a letter in over the weekend for the House Property Tax Committee, asking for support on House File 424, basically finding state-assessed properties harmless to local entities for tax court adjustments. It had a good hearing. It sounds positive. It looks like it's going to get moved forward for possible inclusion in a tax bill, at least at this point, based on the discussion. So we'll keep our fingers crossed, keep having conversations with our legislators, and hopefully it'll move forward.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Sue, administration, you guys have any updates?
Just ERP continues. So we were out there yesterday at the LEC most of the day. The group is out there again today. I believe it's Thursday, Friday, and then Wednesday and Thursday are still full days, and then Friday is a half day. So it's consuming, and then next week we'll be doing a few more days out there, and we'll be wrapping up, so.
Yeah, that's been a very extensive project, so.
Has been.
Good to get it going.
But yesterday it was very good information that we were receiving from that vendor, so it'll be nice to start putting those side by side and see how it pans out.
Good.
With that, well, no other further items. I guess we don't have to reconvene again until 3 o'clock today for our committee of the whole regarding the Regional Aquatic Invasive Species Program. But with that, at 9:31, we will adjourn.